HTTK! Polimpo is my name and welcome to my YouTube channel. First, I want to say thank you for all the love on my live reaction and review of Life is But a Dream. It's my most popular video by far and it's thanks to all of you. Ever since I released that video, it's been like my full-time job to reply to all of you. And I'm not bragging, I'm just saying that this is new to me. I'm not an experienced YouTube reactor. But I appreciate all the respectful comments I've got. We've had like a kind of nice vibe in the comment section. And that's exactly what I want. No hating, just loving and respectfully agree or disagree with each other. Before we get started, if you have any suggestions on what I can react to, a song, an artist, a band, an album, leave a comment after this video. And it doesn't need to be like rock or metal. I listen to basically everything. My Spotify list is a mix of like pop, country, yeah, of course rock and metal, but singer-songwriter, stuff like that. But today I'm gonna rank all the Sevenfold studio albums. I've listened to every album once again, and of course I've been giving Life is But a Dream more replays because I want to give as good review to you as possible. I think I've been listening to it like 6 times since my live reaction. And besides that album, I gave The Stage 2 extra listeners because it's the same here. I haven't given that album time to grow on me, and I will tell you why when we get to that album. But let's get started, and we start with their debut album, Sounding the Seventh Trumpet. And this is how the ranking will look like. If this is like their best album, we're gonna have it on GOAT. And if it's not the best album, maybe the worst album, we're gonna go with meh. And of course, I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear your rankings. What's your GOAT album? What's your meh? So yeah, leave a comment after this video. Sounding the Seventh Trumpet, my quick thoughts on this album is trust the process. It's a low budget recorded album. You know, the Rev did all the drums in one take, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think it's very impressive because I think the drums are really good. Matt Shadow's vocals is not that good. You know, he's not fully developed yet, and you know, all the songs is written by Matt Shadows and Saki, so we haven't like got to experience the awesomeness of the Rev yet. That's why I'm saying trust the process. And Sinister Gaze wasn't even a member when they recorded this album. My favorite song from this album is Thick and Thin. And before I give you my rating, I have to tell you that this is my opinion. This is not facts. My opinion doesn't need to be your opinion. We can agree to disagree in a respectful way. I want to say this was actually the first time I enjoyed listening to this album, and why it made me like realize how far they have come since their debut album. So yeah, that was kind of cool. It's not their best album. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 10. Where do I put this? I'm not gonna waste your time. I'm gonna put it on meh. It's not an album I'm gonna listen to later on, but this was, as I said, the first time I enjoyed listening to this album since the last time, and the last time was like when I listened to the whole album was like, I don't know, 8-10 years ago maybe. But we continue with Wicked the Fallen, their second album, and this is a better one, better production, better songwriting. It has some really good songs like Unholy Confession, Second Heartbeat, Eternal Rest, Chapter 4. All the members are included in the songwriting now, which I believe is why I think this album is much better. It's overall better lyrics, better melodies, more like, how do I say, melodic metal than like the raw skate punk-ish metal. Matt's vocals is better, but not perfection yet. Overall, I have like nothing bad to say about this album. It has good songs, but it's not my favorite. My favorite song is Unholy Confessions, no doubt about it. It's a banger, and I give this album a 6.5 out of 10. And where do I put it in the ranking? I will put it, I'm gonna put it on good. It's a good album. This is an album I can listen to, no doubt about it. I could have given this album a 7, but I feel like something is missing on this album, and I think I have the answer in the next album. Let's go to City of Evil. This is where things are getting really interesting for me. When I listen to all the albums in order, this album made me like think that everything's starting to fit together. Matt Shadows hired a vocal coach. His name is Ron Anderson, and he has worked with other singers like Axl Rose. And why I'm mentioning his name is because, in my opinion, Matt Shadows sounds like a metal version of Axl Rose, especially on this album. This is, for me, a really strong album. It has some really good songs like, of course, Beast and Harlot, Burn It Down, Trashed and Scattered, Bad Country, Seize the Day. Well-written songs and melody, and this is like where they starting to find their own theme and vibe, if you know what I mean. They are focusing more on the melodies and like skipping the screaming part. And for me, it sounds like they're having really fun while they are writing all the songs and while they are in the studio as well. My favorite song is 100% Beast and Harlot. You know, when the intro started, it made me like, oh yes! Bruh. Here we go! And then the drums and the melodies and, you know, the rhythm, it is fast pacing, you know, it's such a good song and such a good album. I'm gonna give this album a 8.5 out of 10. And where do I put this in the ranking? If I could, I would have put it like here in the middle. But I'm gonna put it on great. It's a great album, period, in my opinion. Remember that, people, in my opinion. It's not facts, it's opinions. We go with their next album called Avenged Sevenfold. The self-titled, the White Album. Quick thoughts. This album is a beast. It has some powerful melodies, powerful songs, powerful riffs. And once again, it feels like they're having really fun writing all the songs, and they are having really fun in the studio as well. If you haven't watched the documentary, like making of this album, watch it. It's really cool to see. And you know, they have changed their style in like every album, from their debut to Wake in the Fallen to City of Evil, and once again they are changing some styles and influences. We have songs like Critical Acclaim and Almost Easy that is like dark and heavy. Then we have like radio friendly songs like Afterlife,
and then we have a little bit of country with Dear God and the Gunslinger.
And of course, I need to mention A Little Piece of Heaven. You know, it's the best metal musical I've ever heard. And I love it. A very underrated song on this album, according to me, is Brompton Cocktail. I don't know, it's something with the verse and the pre-chorus that makes me like... The rev... Shut up! The rev is more included in the vocals as well, which is a huge boost and plus for me. We're getting his like raw and unique voice on songs like Critical Acclaim and Afterlife and A Little Piece of Heaven. Overall, for me, it's a really fun album to listen to. It's very hard to pick a favorite song because I have many. But if I have to pick one, it's Critical Acclaim. Very close, followed by Almost Easy. And I will give this album a 9 out of 10, and I will put this album on GOAT. No question about it, in my opinion. This is for me like their peak. It felt like they were unbreakable, like nothing could beat them. Nightmare. And this is their first recorded album without the rev. Rest in peace, Jimmy, and thank you. As I said previously, it felt like they were unbreakable, but for this album, I was worried. Gotta be honest, I was worried. I had some mixed feelings before I even heard the album. I was like, is the album gonna be good? Is the lyrics gonna be good? Is it just gonna be like dark and sad? I knew before they released the album that the rev was included in the songwriting before he passed away. When they released the first single, Nightmare, I understood, and I guess everyone understood, that this is gonna be a dark album. And that's what I was worried about. Is it like too dark and you can't feel like the fun anymore? Is it only gonna be like heavy and misery throughout the whole album? Yes. But not in a bad way. The album is strong. It has some strong lyrics and strong melodies. There's no song that I can't listen to, but of course some songs are better than others. And my favorite song on this album is Save Me. I think it's like 11-minute masterpiece. The only song I'm having trouble listening to, and I think that's trouble for everyone, and it's Fiction. It's not because it's a bad song, but it's Jimmy's Goodbye. I give this album an 8 out of 10, and it's not better than City of Evil, in my opinion. So I'm gonna put it behind City of Evil. But it's a great album. Okay, let's move on with Hail to the King. Right, this is the first album where Jimmy isn't a part of the songwriting since the debut album. And for me, I can tell. When they released the first single, we all knew where this is going. It's going to be like old school hard rock and heavy metal with influences like Metallica, Guns N' Roses, a little bit of Bon Jovi. I'm just saying, listen to the first verse in Hail to the King and compare it to the first verse of Living on a Prayer. If you haven't thought about it, listen to it. They released a song like 1 year earlier called Carry On, and it was for the game Call of Duty Black Ops 2, if I remember correctly. And I remember my first thoughts about this song, and I was like, I really hope that the album will sound like this. But it kind of didn't. For me, this is a step back for the band. I'm not a big fan of a couple of songs, This Means War, and I'm not gonna tell you why. We all know why I don't like that song. Doing Time sounds like a bad version of Guns N' Roses' It's So Easy. And in my opinion, Shepherd of Fire and Crimson Day is two pretty boring songs. Hail to the King, it's an okay song. Requiem is pretty cool. But I actually prefer the 4 last songs on this album, and that's what saves the album for me, and this is where my favorite track hides. It's a strong ending for me. And my favorite song is Coming Home, close followed by Planets. And I give this album a 6 out of 10. And where do I put this album? It's somewhere between here, It's an album I can listen to, and of course there will be some songs that I prefer to skip. Okay, I'm gonna put it here. Okay, it's a good album. Period. It's a good album. We move on with The Stage. This is where we're going to have our differences, and when I say we, I mean the fans. If you're offended that I'm saying the fans and you start to call me like a casual listener and I don't understand the concept or the album, that's your opinion. I consider myself a fan. Let me give you an example. I'm a huge fan of the director called James Wan. He's done movies like the first Saw movie, Insidious 1 and 2, Conjuring 1 and 2. He is probably my favorite director in the horror genre, but his latest horror movie, I can't even remember that name, was what was a huge disappointment for me. But I'm still a fan of his work. I'm still consider myself a fan of him. I don't need to like everything that he does, and I don't have to enjoy and like all the albums to be a fan. It's okay to not like an album. You're probably not liking an album because you are a fan. Ever thought about that? I'm just kidding. And as I said, I've been giving this album, like Life Is But a Dream, some extra listenings, and it's because I want to be sure of what I feel about this album, and I feel sure. All the lyrics are written by Matt on this album, and I think it's kind of cool, and I respect it, and I know it's a concept album, but in my opinion, I think it's a little step back to not include the rest of the members, especially when Jimmy was a huge part of the songwriting. I'm not saying that the lyrics are bad, and I know the music are composed by the whole band, but for me, I believe it's harder to write a good song when you get it handed only the lyrics, when you're used to write all the things together. And I know there will be, and there has been some song that maybe Jimmy was like, here's a lyric, do a guitar melody on this. But I believe if someone gives me a lyric and says I want you to write a song out of this, and it's gonna be progressive, it's gonna be a mix of metal, progressive, and high speed rock music, I think you can get a little bit lost, because you need to feel the lyrics, and you need to feel the lyrics in notes as well when you write a song. In my opinion, guys. In my opinion. But anyway, I think I'm bad at explaining that. I was thinking really hard about how I should express myself about the lyrics. I think the lyrics is good, but I think the lyrics combined with the melodies and the songs, I'm sorry, I hit the microphone. The combining of the lyrics and the melodies, it's not hitting me. It doesn't make me feel like, oh, this is good, or this is great, or this is the best thing they have released. And once again, they are pretty obvious that they want to try some new stuff and have like new influences. We hear stuff like progressive rock, as I was talking about earlier, and like different guitar plays and different melodies in Matt's vocals. And I think I have proven myself that I have nothing against bands that change in the chorus into other influences. But I need to feel like it's Sevenfold. I need to feel like this is a banger. And for some, maybe the album is a banger. But for me, it's not a banger. I think as a listener and as a fan, I have high expectations because they have pretty much always blew my mind. And when they don't do that, it's disappointing. It's the same when I was talking about the horror movie director. You know, I was so excited that he's gonna do a new horror movie because it was like his first horror movie in many years. And what I'm saying is basically I wanna feel it's Sevenfold, and now I'm gonna get a lot of questions like, what is Sevenfold to you, Kimbo? For me, it's all about the melodies and the lyrics. And I know it's the same in the stage, and I know it's the same in Life is But a Dream as well. But the lyrics and the melodies doesn't hit me. If I didn't do this extra listenings of the stage, I would have probably give this album a 4. But now it's lower. I'm just kidding. It's higher. But when they released the first single and the music video as well, I was like, holy shit, they are back. The intro with the organ brings me back to like Critical Acclaim, and then Gates' guitar melody sounds like an upgrade of Hail to the King, and the high-speed drums from Brooks made me like think about City of Evil, like Beast and Harlot. And the song is good, but yeah, we have a but. And it's Matt's vocals. We gotta talk about his vocals. Not only on this song, it's on the whole album. It sounds like he's in pain while he's singing, and not in like an emotional way, so you can understand the difference. And for me, it wouldn't have mattered if they would have released like a sequel to City of Evil or a sequel to Nightmare. If that version of Matt Shadows was supposed to sing on those albums, I would probably not like it. We all know why. He's been doing a couple of surgeries throughout the years. And I need to mention that I know when I did my live reaction of We Love You, I said the stage was a 4 out of 10, and I mean the song, the stage. It's a lie. I think I was a little bit too emotional about actually how good Matt sings. Yeah, I think I was a little bit emotionally butthurt against the stage. I remember when they released a song and I was like, yeah, this is such a good song. It's gonna be a great album. But when they released the album, I was like, ah. And this is exactly what I mean. The lyrics combining with the melody, and it's the same, like the guitars and the drums and the vocals. If it doesn't fit in my ears, it doesn't fit. It doesn't matter if it's a bigger picture and stuff like that. I understand the picture. I understand it's a concept album, but I don't like it. And if you think this is the greatest album they've ever done, I respect that. But I don't agree, basically. I'm gonna continue. I've been talking a lot about this album now. My favorite song from this album is The Stage. It's a banger, and it's not 4 out of 10. For me, it's more like a 7 or 8. And the whole album, some songs are good. The lyrics is different, but good overall. And as I said, I know it's a concept album, and to be honest with you, I didn't like think about it before when they released the album. I was like disappointed at the album, and I was like, I'm not gonna listen to this. But yeah, I understand it now, and it makes me feel better about this album. As I said, I would have probably given it a 4 out of 10 if I didn't listen for this video. The album came out 2016 and I was 22 years old, so You know, Sevenfold has been rocking my childhood with other styles and influences. Maybe I wasn't ready for this album. I've changed my opinion on this album. And I'm not saying this to like please you or something like that. I think it's a better album today than I thought before. It has some cool songs besides the stage, like Paradigm, Goddamn, and Exist. That's like songs I can listen to tomorrow. Then we have like other songs that Roman Sky and Sunny Dispositions that also is good, but probably not songs I will be listening to on like a daily basis. Overall, the album is better today. It's not a 4 out of 10. I will give this album a 6 out of 10. And I know people will be like, holy shit, he think it's still a bad album. No. If I think it's a bad album, I would have given it a 4 or 3 and put it like, here, it's a meh. No. I'm gonna put it on good. So it has the same rating as Hail to the King. Do I think it's a better album than Hail to the King? No. I don't think so. But it's very close. As I said, if I didn't listen to it recently, I would have put it like here. But today it's here. So it's a good boost. And now, people, we are on the last album, Life is But a Dream. I've been giving this album, I think it's 5 or 6 more extra listeners since my live reaction and live review. And now I'm paying 100% attention on everything, you know, the lyrics, the melody, and not thinking about a camera. Like now I'm gonna try to be like entertaining to you guys. And that has helped me. I gave it a 5 last time, and I still believe and think that the first half of the album is the best part. But pretty much every song has grown on me in a good way. I'm not gonna rate like every song once again, but I want to mention like I think I gave the song Death a 4. Today I believe it's more like a 6. Fuck it, I'm gonna rate it. I'm gonna do it again. I have my previous ratings here in my cell phone, and I think I have my latest. Okay, we're gonna start with Game Over. First listen, 7. 6 listenings, it's an 8. Then we have Mattel. I think I pronounced that right. I gave that song a 6. Today, it's an 8. And then we have Nobody. I gave that song a 3. But now when I have listened to the whole album, I didn't do it the first time. I was skipping Nobody and We Love You. It made me like enjoy the song a little bit more. But anyway, I gave that song a 3, but now it's a 4.5. We Love You, first listen, a 6. Today, 6.5. It has grown, but not like really much. Cosmic, first listen, a 9. Today, it's a 10. It's a 10. Beautiful Morning, I gave that song a 2. And today, it's a 4. I know. Some people will be like, are you for real? The rev is included in the song, in the songwriting. I know. It doesn't need to be like, oh, then I think it's a banger. No, I still don't think it's a good song. But it's a better song today after a couple of listenings. Easier, first listen, I gave it a 5. Today, I give it a 6.5. Then we have G. First listen, 2. Today, 2. I don't know. It doesn't hit me. Nowhere in my body or my brain or my butthole. It doesn't hit me. Death. First listen, a 4. Today, it's a 6. And Life is But a Dream. First listen, 5. Today, it's a 7.5. Oh shit, I forgot. Ordinary. I gave it a 2 at the first listen, and today it's a 2. I'm sorry, I forgot it. And it's the same here. It doesn't hit me. And I know I got some comments about me mentioning Bruno Mars, and like,
oh, you have never listened to Daft Punk. Oh, you're just a metalhead. Oh.
Yeah, I've heard Daft Punk, but I was a little bit more into The Weeknd. I was talking about The Weeknd and I Feel It Coming, and who is a part of that song. I was only referring to the guitars. Let's see if I can find the Bruno Mars song that I was referring to. I'm not saying that this guitar is on every Bruno Mars song, and I was only talking about the guitars. Nothing else. Not the vocals with the auto-tune, which is very Daft Punk. I didn't mention it, I know, but obviously I should have, because some people in the comments were like, dude, Bruno Mars, Bruno fucking Mars. Listen to the guitars only. Just saying. And that is only my opinion. But anyway, I'm gonna add all the ratings and divide it by 11. We get an average rate of 5.9, which means it's a step up, because I think the last time I gave it like a 4.5, 4.7 or something like that, and I'm glad for that. I could give this album a 6, as we are talking about since the stage. It's a concept album, and I think I believe this album hits me a little bit more than the stage, and I think this album hits me a little bit more than Hail to the King as well. So I'm gonna give it a 6.5. So we have a same rate as Waken the Fallen. Now it's up to me to decide, you know, it's obviously better than Hail to the King, but is it better than Waken the Fallen? And if so, should it be on good or should it be on great maybe? Is it a stronger 6.5? There it is. It's a good album. Overall, I can listen to pretty much every album besides their debut album. And I'm glad I gave the stage an extra chance, and the same with Life is But a Dream. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video, and if you enjoy this video, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and drop a comment about what you think about my ranking in a respectful way. But I want to hear your opinions as well. What is your favorite album? What's your worst album? And give me suggestions on what I can react to later on. And if I haven't listened or heard that artist or that album or that song, I would probably react to it. So until then, take care and be nice to each other, okay? We're all a family.